welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Well, the starting gate is one of the most important things on the racetrack, right? It's where the race begins.
And we just found out at the nursery how important it is, right? If you don't get a good break, it can change everything, and it's a fascinating contraption out there.
Absolutely. And our very own Chris Griffin has this great feature teaching you all about the Parx Racing starting gate.
The old cliche saying is, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. While that's mostly true, in horse racing, the start is actually one of the most crucial parts of a race. In a game of inches like this, the starting gate can tell so many stories before the race is even run. We're going to have a chance to check out all the components of the starting gate, the assistant starters. What is the gate? What are the components? Let's find out. In its simplest form, the starting gate is powered by a battery unit and is ready to operate with the simple turn of a key.
This is an electric starting gate. We have 2 deep cell batteries.
The key is, well, key, because you turn the key to the right and the starter's button is good to go. But as a backup, should the button not work, you turn the key to the left and you can quickly open the gate that way. The front of the gate is a lesson in engineering. Drop the bar into the groove and everything connects into place. The gate closes up and behind those doors stands a thoroughbred ready to run. When it comes to race day, the starter has his program out. Parx starter Brian Kraft and his team have seen many of these horses at the gate during training hours in the morning. We caught up with a couple trainers during those training hours to get some insight on what they take from the importance of the starting gate.
It's everything, especially in American racing, and speed is king. So if you can pop out and get position, you are at an advantage. So you have to make sure that they can get out and get a rhythm and find their position. But a horse that goes in the gate and stands and behaves and doesn't do anything and can pop right out of there, that's a big advantage.
Danny, taking a look at the gate, and obviously you were
Yes, sir.
in the gate as a rider, but as a trainer, do you look at it any differently? Or
Yeah, I do look at it a little differently because I know the confined space that the jockey is in there with, the big horse, there's a gate guy in there, and honestly the gate is probably the most important part of the race, because if you get a bad break it can really cost you everything. So making sure that these horses are well schooled and well mannered in the gate is highly, highly important in this business.
Often racing in the Pennsylvania Nursery Stakes, it was a very slow beginning for Uncle Heavy.
Every horse can be different shapes and sizes. So the experienced crew at Parx, with almost 200 years combined of experience, has to adjust accordingly. A wedge, which acts as extra padding on the back end, will help a horse settle more in the gate. A united gate has the roof overhead. Some of the newest innovations, if you notice the padding up at the top of the gate. Well, Smarty Jones, one of the most famous Pennsylvania breds of all time, that padding actually is a result of something that happened to Smarty Jones when he was about to make his debut. Here's John Service talking about Smarty Jones.
Before that, they had very thin, was more covers than anything. So when he reared up and hit that bar, there was only maybe a 1/16 of an inch cover on it. And then after that, they came up with this idea with this huge, wasn't rubber, but it was a heavy, heavy foam to cover all the iron in the starting gate. So subsequently it became a whole lot more safer. Back in the day, in the 50s and 60s, there was more jockeys killed in the starting gate than on the racetrack. And they used to call it the Iron Monster. So we've come a long way.
So we've had the training. We know how the gate operates a little more thanks to the gate crew here at Parx. The horses step in, and there's only one thing left to do. For Let's Go Racing, I'm Chris Griffin.
And can't give enough credit to our starting gate starter and the crew. They keep our horses safe and they keep themselves safe. That is a dangerous job.
It's kind of like a referee's job. You don't notice them unless something goes wrong, and most of the time nothing goes wrong and the horses come out like they're supposed to.
Absolutely. I'm out there with them all the time. They do a great job.